Take a deep, slow breath and feel the scent of sea salt and freedom expanding in your chest. Tonight, we aren't just traveling between cities. We are embarking on an impossible journey aboard the overseas railroad, the eighth wonder of the world in the year 1930. Imagine yourself seated by the window of a polished mahogany train car. The rhythmic clatter of the wheels no longer echoes off dry earth, but blends with the sound of waves crashing directly against the limestone bridge footings just beneath you. Looking out, the world is reduced to an endless expanse of turquoise, where the Gulf of Mexico meets the Atlantic Ocean. The train feels as though it is gliding atop the water, passing pristine islands fringed with swaying coconut palms. The tropical Florida sun pours through the glass, warming your hands, while the sea breeze, thick with moisture, and the primal tang of the equator drifts in, gently stirring your hair. We are drifting toward Key West, the very edge of the country, where life slows down to the rhythmic pulse of the tide. As the train pulls into the final station, Key West greets us with a magical stillness. Morning on this island has a rhythm all its own. We stroll down narrow brick-paved streets where the conch-style houses of the 1930s appear like masterpieces of woodwork. This architecture is unique, crafted by master shipbuilders. Grand wooden manors painted in crisp white, featuring expansive wraparound porches and intricate louvered shutters designed to catch the faintest breath of the sea. You can see vibrant splashes of purple and pink bougainvillea climbing white picket fences, their scent sweet and melting into the early mist. We stop at a small eatery run by Cuban immigrants, souls who brought the spirit of Havana to this island since the 19th century. Amber hands you a loaf of freshly baked pan cubano. Feel the crust, thin as parchment, so brittle it crackles at the slightest touch, revealing a snow-white, airy interior infused with the aroma of yeast. The rich, salty butter melts completely into the fibers of the bread. Take a sip of steaming café con leche. The bold bitterness of dark roasted beans harmonizes with the velvety sweetness of condensed milk, creating a warmth that spreads from your tongue to your soul. In this tranquil space, with only the slow creak of a wooden ceiling fan and the distant crow of a wild rooster, you will feel your spirit grow as light as a drifting seagull. As the midday sun rises high, turning the ocean into a shimmering emerald silk, Amber takes you to visit Ernest Hemingway's estate on Whitehead Street. Built from thick blocks of coral limestone, the house remains naturally cool inside. Walk slowly across the dark hardwood floors, glancing at the vintage typewriters where literary masterpieces were born. In the lush garden, as dense as a miniature jungle, giant banana leaves spread out like green umbrellas, shading the famous six-toed cats as they curl up for a dreamless nap. Our lunch is served beneath the cool canopy of a century-old banyan tree. A plate of golden, steaming conch fritters. These savory morsels are made from the fresh meat of the queen conch, the iconic symbol of the Florida Keys. Hold one in your hand, feeling the craggy, crisp texture of the batter. As you break it open, a cloud of steam rises, carrying the fragrant aroma of onions, bell peppers, and sweet, hearty conch meat. The white meat is tender with a signature oceanic sweetness. Dip it into a zesty lime butter sauce, and your palate will bloom with freshness. Pair this with a tall glass of iced tea, watching the condensation beads roll slowly down the glass to cool your palms against the tropical heat. As the sun begins its slow descent toward the west, the brilliant tropical light loses its sharp edge, transforming into a soft, liquid honey that pours over the vibrant purple bougainvillea draping the porches. Imagine yourself stepping away from the dense, shaded gardens of the Hemingway estate, strolling down a quiet side street where the sea breeze begins to stir with renewed strength, carrying the cooling breath of the late afternoon. The rustle of coconut fronds mingles with the sweet, heady scent of white frangipani, creating an atmosphere so still and serene that you can almost hear your own heartbeat slowing down. Amber leads you to a weathered wooden table tucked beneath the expansive shade of an ancient banyan tree. And here, the moment we have been waiting for arrives. Resting on a vintage, gold-rimmed porcelain plate is the island's crown jewel, key lime pie. The story of this pie didn't begin in grand, professional kitchens. It was born from the ingenuity of 19th century sailors who used the simple ingredients at hand to transform tiny limes into a legend. By these 1930s, it has become the very soul of the Florida Keys. Observe its beauty for a moment before you take a bite. The crust is made from graham cracker crumbs, crushed fine and bound with rich butter, then toasted until it reaches the deep golden hue of roasted hazelnuts. The filling is the true miracle. It is crafted from tiny key limes, thin-skinned gems that possess a tartness more piercing and a fragrance more floral than any lime you have ever known. The The blend of fresh juice, egg yolks, and condensed milk creates a texture as smooth as heavy silk, glowing with a pale, soothing yellow like the first light of dawn. Atop the filling sits a cloud of toasted meringue, whipped until stiff and kissed by the flame, looking as light and airy as the white sea foam dancing on the distant horizon. As you slowly bring the first spoonful to your lips, feel the absolute balance between the sharp, elegant citrus and the sweet, velvety cream. It is more than just tasting a dessert. It is as if you are savoring the essence of the sun, the wind, and the very spirit of Key West, melting and weaving its way into every cell of your being. As the day gradually fades, the sky over Key West does not simply darken. It transforms into nature's most magnificent and grand stage of light. Amber leads you on a leisurely stroll toward Mallory Square, where the 1930s crowds gather in respectful silence to witness a celestial ritual. Look there, the sun is now a massive orb of fiery red, slowly sinking into the still waters of the Gulf of Mexico. It stains the horizon in vibrant shades of burnt orange, dusty rose, and deep garnet, before leaving its final lingering rays upon the gentle ripples of the tide. In that moment, it feels as though the entire island stops. Every noise dissolves, leaving only the sea breeze whispering like a prayer. As the deep blue twilight begins to settle, we take our places at a rustic wooden table in a restaurant perched right at the water's edge. Oil lamps are lit one by one, casting a warm, golden glow that dances across the vintage window frames. You can hear the rhythmic, soothing lapping of the sea directly beneath the floorboards, as if the restaurant itself were a ship anchored peacefully in the middle of the ocean. And then, the most captivating aroma of the evening arrives. Our dinner is grilled grouper, caught by fishermen just hours ago from the deep blue. The fillets, pearly white and succulent, are grilled over an open flame until the skin is perfectly crisp and kissed by the rich, nostalgic scent of wood smoke. Amber gently drizzles a signature sauce over them, a blend of melted butter, fresh key lime juice, and aromatic herbs gathered from the garden. Observe how the golden butter glazes the snowy white fish. As you take a bite, the natural sweetness of the sea melts into the velvety richness of the butter, tenderly comforting your palate. The gentle clinking of glassware, the steady rhythm of the waves, and the faint, haunting sound of jazz drifting from a nearby bar will lead you into a state of profound relaxation, where all the worries of the modern world become nothing more than a fading dream. Take one last sip of cool water, letting the pure citrus and the warmth of dinner linger like a beautiful memory. As the oil lamp on the table begins to flicker and dim, only the silver moonlight remains, dancing on the still waters of Key West. Let your body let go completely into the wooden chair, dissolving into the sound of the rhythmic waves growing softer and softer, leading you into a dreamless sleep. But Amber Radio's journey does not end at the ocean's edge. When you awaken in another dimension, Amber will take you away from the burning sands to find a land of mystical blue mists. We will take a leap through time, back to the year 1947 in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. Imagine the sea breeze slowly being replaced by the sharp scent of pine resin and the rustic chill of the Appalachian highlands. There, the lapping waves beneath the floorboards will turn into the whistle of the wind through ancient pines and the crackle of a fire in a vintage log cabin. Can you hear it? From the distant valley, the pluck of a banjo and the cry of a fiddle are beginning to play, telling folk legends of the high country. We will sit together by a stone hearth, savoring a warm, many-layered apple stack cake amidst the mountain clouds. Are you ready to climb those misty peaks of 1947 with Amber? Let the jazz of Key West fade away, replaced by the mountain wind guiding you into a deep, deep sleep. Good night, my dear companion.